All right, parents and students, today's activity is working with our 10 frame. So go ahead and pull out your 8 carton 10 frame as well as your pom-poms that were in your bag. Now this video is mostly going to be for parents to show you how to implement this activity, but students can follow along too. All right, the objective of today's activity is to practice putting items in a 10 frame correctly. There is a correct way to do it. Now, you may have seen a 10 frame in other school settings, and it doesn't look like this. This is an 8 carton, of course, but it has the 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. The purpose of a 10 frame is to help students isolate a single object to learn one-to-one correspondence. It is difficult to count a set of objects that is in a pile, but when you can take that pile and put each object in its own spot, suddenly that pile became very easy to count because you just go across the row and then you go across the second row. So today we will be talking about how to practice putting items in a 10 frame. Now first I need to show you the correct way to do it. Most of you probably already know, but we start in the top left-hand corner always, and typically in class we say, okay, we start right here. Even if you would like to maybe draw a little dot at the bottom of your child's 10 frame to help them remember, this is where we start. We start right here, and then we go right next door, right next door, right next door, then right next door, okay? We use that language to help them remember to not put an item in a slot that already has one. You may even have your child feel it and understand that one is full. We got to move to the next one. They can feel that that object is already in there and that they do not need to put another one in there. Now, once you finish the first row, you go to the bottom row, but once again, you start at the left and then you go right next door, right next door, right next door, right next door, just like the top row till you finish. Now, if your student is pretty proficient in putting items in a 10 frame, then you might count while they put them in. So you might get them started. We start here and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, the object of today's activity is not to practice counting, but just to practice putting items in a 10 frame. So the counting is not the most important. If your child is struggling to put items in a 10 frame, you can always create a barrier or a little bit of help so that they put it in the correct spot. So it might look like this. You might cover with your hands the spot, every spot that they are not supposed to put the pom-pom. So see, I'm only leaving that first spot open. So they put it in there. And then you move your hands so that only the next spot is available. They put it in there. And you continue to kind of block off as needed so that they're putting it in the right spot. We like to provide lots of praise, high fives, fist bumps, things like that to keep our students motivated. Now, if you are looking for a more fun way to do this, something a little more engaging, we have a few things that we like to do in our classroom. The first is to take a cup, it can be any cup, and to throw any number of pom-poms in. So I'm gonna put in 4. Then we like to sing a little song. You can make it up, whatever you want, but we go shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, and dump. And then your student will see the pom-poms in front of them and they will count. They won't count. They will put them in the 10 frame correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, if you need to block to help them, that is totally okay. All right, the next kind of fun way to make this activity more engaging is by using some sort of ball. So these are ping pong balls, but you could use golf balls. If you have small bouncy balls, that would work perfectly as well. One thing we like to do, bounce them to our student, they catch them, and they put them in the correct spot. Here comes the next one. I bounced it, put it in the correct spot. If it's a golf ball, you're probably just gonna wanna roll it. You may have them catch it, whatever you would like to do, but small ping pong balls like this that fit into the 10 frame are a really engaging way to help them learn how to correctly put items in a 10 frame. Okay, we also use many other manipulatives, so we have some counting bears that we could use. Now, I only provided you with pom-poms, but if you have other materials at home, feel free to use them. But sometimes we put bears, okay? Sometimes we use these fun little spiky balls. Those are fun too. You can put those in there. Whatever you have at home, just as long as you are practicing the skill of putting items in a tin frame correctly.